Okay, so this guy thinks that we are not saved by works, but rather we just have to rely on the finished work on the cross, and that our own works are filthy rags. And so I'm going to explain this here, and I'm going to start in 1 Corinthians 15. It says, and this is a definition of grace, really. It says, "But by the grace of God I am what I am, and his grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain. But I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of God which was with me." So Paul's not saying that we don't need to obey God. He's just saying that the works that we do, those are done by God's Spirit working within us. So if we are doing legitimate obedience to God, that's not filthy rags, that's the work of the Holy Spirit, and you're insulting the Holy Spirit by saying that keeping the Ten Commandments is filthy rags. We can see right here that obedience is righteousness. Luke 1, "And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless." What self-righteousness is teaching your own rules and your own commandments and saying that that is what honors God and that's how you worship him. This is what the Messiah says to the Pharisees. He answered and said unto them, "Well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, This people honoureth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Howbeit in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do. And he said unto them, Full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition." So this is filthy rags. This is Christians saying, let's go to church on Sun God Day and not keep the actual Sabbath on the seventh day, Saturday. This is Christians saying that we honor God by doing pagan celebrations like Christmas and Easter, which he never commanded. And what you don't seem to understand is that the Torah, that is not the same thing as the Ten Commandments. You can see that he quoted, "It is finished." This is actually a reference to Deuteronomy 31 here. It says, "And it came to pass when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee." So this is what is a witness against us. This is what was put in the side of the ark of the covenant, written by the hand of Moses, and it was until they were finished. So this is what the Messiah ended on the cross here. Now this is in comparison to the Ten Commandments. "And he wrote on the tables, according to the first writing, the 10 Commandments, which the Lord spake unto you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly, and the Lord gave them unto me. And I turned myself and came down from the mount and put the tables in the ark, which I had made, and there they be, as Jehovah commanded me." All right, and this is Exodus 31. It says, verse 18, "And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of God." So we see here that the finger of God wrote the 10 Commandments, as in comparison, the law of Moses, the Torah, that was written by Moses' hand. So there's a separation there. The law was put in the side of the ark, while the 10 Commandments was put in the ark, in the center. We see here in Deuteronomy 5:22, "These words the Lord spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire of the cloud and of the thick darkness with a great voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me." So he added no more after verbally speaking the 10. That means the rest of the Torah, that's a separate covenant. And so Paul says right here in Galatians 3:19, "Wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made, was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator." Okay, so the law was added for transgressions. What's that talking about? The transgression of the 10 Commandments with the golden calf and everything that came with that incident. So he's saying that before that incident happened, God hadn't even given them the law. And he even specifies a few verses earlier that he's talking about the book of the law. That's what the letter of Galatians is about. It's not about the 10 Commandments, but the Torah and all 613 ordinances, or however many there actually are. That's what we don't need to worry about right now. He's not saying that we don't need to keep the 10. So in Romans 6, this is why Paul warns you, "What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, the Torah, not the 10 Commandments, but under grace? God forbid. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are, to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death, or of obedience unto righteousness? But God be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered unto you. Being then made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. But this person who I'm talking to is still a servant of sin, because they're not keeping the 10 Commandments. They think the law is the 10 Commandments, so they're confused here. But we're under grace, which is divine influence, conviction to make us keep the 10. It's the work of the Spirit and not filthy rags. So what you're doing is actually doing despite unto grace. It says, Hebrews 10, For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment, suppose ye shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of God, and hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace. So if you do despite unto the Spirit of grace, you are sinning willfully. So that's what it's talking about there. You can't just keep going on and pretending like it's okay to break these commandments, because that's how you sear your conscience with a hot iron. That's what grace is. It's God telling you you did something wrong using your conscience. And you also mentioned the wedding feast in Matthew 22. And that's extremely ironic. You said that me wearing my own works, that's what it's talking about when I don't have a wedding garment on. But no, it's you who are not keeping the 10 Commandments.